Hi, I'm Jason. This is the Pattern to Print channel, and it's been a few weeks, and so today we're going to talk about some printing I've done. But before that, I was able to take a field trip to Orange County, California. My wife, my daughter, and I were able to get a little getaway weekend. My daughter has a friend out there who was having a birthday party, and I kind of lined up with both of their school breaks. So since we're in Orange County, we thought, well, hey, we're within driving distance of Matterhackers, so we decided to stop in on a week ago Friday, and that was pretty cool. There's no 3D print companies here in Michigan really, and so to be able to just walk into the front door and see all these 3D printers for sale and filament and things like that, it was kind of not an everyday experience. And everyone was really friendly. Front desk young lady, I think her name was Maisie, talked to us for quite a while. And then we were able to talk our way into the back room where they had just a couple days before done the Iron Man versus Stormtrooper foosball table, so that was really cool to see in person. And so yeah, it went pretty well. My wife decided to pick up this Crafty 3D pen. And she's played around with it a little bit, and it's really kind of a nice one. It's got temperature. You can change the temperature, so you can use either PLA or ABS, and also just, you know, if a particular filament needs a little temperature, you know, adjustment, you know, because different PLAs have different melting points, and same thing with ABS. So they've had some fun with it, but they've had some issue with getting the first layer to stick really well, and obviously with any kind of 3D printing, if you can't get that first layer to stick well, you've got lots of problems. So if anybody's gotten any, has experience with these 3D print pens and has a good way of getting that first layer to stick, why don't you just sort of kind of put it in the comments below, and I'll see if I can forward it to my wife and see if we can, you know, kind of get those prints a little better, having a good foundation. The other thing is that while it was pretty cool that we were there, you know, life, everything is timing, and so that if we had been there the following Friday, we would have had a chance to bump into Grant and Mahara, who stopped by to pick up an Ultimaker at Matterhackers. So, yeah, it must be really kind of a cool place to work. I mean, I've got a pretty good job where I'm at, but we're never going to have a dinner conversation where my wife goes, "Hey, how was your day?" And I said, "Well, yeah, Grant and Mahara stopped by." It was just never going to happen. So, so some printing I've been doing. Midwest MRRF Festival is coming up, and recently, and I found out about this from a retweet from Printed Solid, is Jeff from G3 Machining wanted to print a 6-foot tall model from Chaos Cortec. Model's named Rick. I don't know if it's a famous thing or is just something he had created. And so he's going to do a community build, and that's where you take a really big print and you break it up into a bunch of smaller STL files and then have people all over the country print it, and then they mail their print in, and then the one person assembles it. I remember, I haven't seen this in person, but I don't know if it was one of the maker fairs, they had like a Ben Franklin one, and they look kind of cool because there's no like rules on what filament to use or what color, so it's this multicolored thing. So I decided to volunteer, and I have my single solitary piece. I guess it's called Arm Flask C, so I'm guessing when it's all put together it'll be part of an arm. So this little orange piece, if you show up to the Midwest MRRF Festival, which I know you will, take a look for the orange piece, and that one's mine. So that's what I'm doing for that. And then I've been working on my personal big project. And I'm done with all the printing, or at least I hope. I'm kind of finding as I'm putting it together, so a few of the prints, maybe I didn't design it quite right and I have to redo it. But I do have the base done, pretty much done and glued together, so I have that here. So this is the base of my project, and to kind of describe what it is, at least what I'm trying to do here. So this is based on a scroll saw woodworking pattern. And it's going to, at the end, it's going to be 6 foot tall, and so there has to be a lot of structure involved. So even if it was made out of wood, there needs to be a lot of false plating in it to give it the strength to hold up the whole structure. And this, I'm guessing, I've already got 15 kilos of filament printed, so we're over 30 pounds. So I'm thinking it's going to have to hold up 40 pounds at the base. So I'm going to pick it up. I haven't glued on the trim yet, so this is probably going to pop off. So if we look at the back of it, we can see that it's kind of like this, I have kind of like this box. And so what that does is that gives it the structure, the support to give it the strength, and it also gives a contrasting color so you can see the, you know, the lighter filament can really pop out. And then also what I'm doing is on the top, if you notice these holes, when I did my other clock project, I noticed that I had one huge piece. It was really hard to transport. So this thing's going to be 5 different levels, and I'm going to hook it together with these holes here. And if you can kind of see what I've done with this, is I have not glued the trim on, is to sort of give it a better structure and make sure everything lines up really well. I've printed these half dowels. So normally a lot of times in woodworking, if you connect things together, you use a dowel, which is, you know, a circular thing. But that's kind of hard to print because this is mostly 1/4 inch. I'm replicating 1/4 inch wood, and so having a dowel that thin would be kind of hard to print. So if I cut it in half, I'm able to print them flat, and then I don't have any issues with, you know, tall, really thin things falling off the build plate. So I have these half circles, and then so I just design into the part a place where I can put this half dowel in, and then I just line it up, and then I have a matching one in the piece, and then I can just sort of snap it in, and then it makes it really easy to glue, and everything fits together. That was another issue I had with the other clock that I'd done, is that I had to sit there and like hold things for half an hour so they wouldn't slide around because they didn't have anything that fit together. So that's been going pretty well. So I got the first one glued together, and I've got 4 more levels to go. But I think I got enough time. I got about 2.5 weeks. Another interesting thing I had to do with this, since this is a wood pattern, I ended up having to clamp it together. I had my wood clamps to make sure when I glued it that everything kind of stuck together. For that, I know a lot of people kind of like, oh, you know, PLA is sometimes a little tricky to glue. What I've been using is Tester's model glue. I can't say that this is necessarily the best glue in the world. It just seems to work, at least for me. I don't need super strength, and it doesn't set right away, so you have some time to kind of make sure everything's lined up, but it doesn't like take forever to set either. So that's really nice. But if you do want sort of a more in-depth glue review, Lauren at Abuzz Designs just recently did a whole show on glues where she's trying to make a coffee table. So structural integrity is a lot more important there. So I'll probably put the link down below if you want to check that out. So I think that's it for now. So again, in about a little less than 3 weeks is Midwest Rep Rap Festival. So if you haven't made plans to be there, be sure to do so. There's just so many people going to be there. I mean, every day now I'm finding out more and more people who are showing up. A lot of people who have been, oh, I've been trying to do it for years, and it seems like this is the year that they're showing, so this is the year you want to be there. So I think that's it. Thanks for stopping by, and have fun printing.